Nick, before we dive into the hockey stuff with you, family, as we know, always comes first. So we'll start there. You did miss a couple of games previously with your littlest boy, Hudson, being hospitalized recently. Can you give us an update on where he's at? We're certainly wishing for the best.
Yeah, actually, I'm happy to report that I was able to take him home from the hospital this morning before flying out to Nashville. So all my family's back where they should be under one roof, and couldn't be more proud of him and the way he fought. And those doctors are incredible, and the nurses. And man, it's been a pretty wild couple weeks, but just really proud that everything's turned out the way it's supposed to. And we got my kids under one roof again. So nice.
That's what it's all about. And yep, we're certainly wishing you the best in that department. As you mentioned, it has been certainly a tumultuous and a busy off season for you. Not an off season, but a season off the ice for you and your family. And as a professional and as a guy who wears the C on his chest, how tough is that to maintain business both under your roof at home and yet keep it together business-wise for what you're paid to do as the captain of the Columbus Blue Jackets? How tough is that?
Yeah, it's hard. I think you get pulled in a lot of directions, and first and foremost is always going to be my family, and I think that's just mandated from our organization. So I think it helps knowing that that's how they feel as well, and they've given me unbelievable support. And I think you just, it's been a weird one, just with a lot of unforeseen things that have gone on health-wise for my kids. But we're happy that hopefully we're through it and past it and leave it all behind. And now get focused on the run that we're going to go on here. And but it's humbled me, obviously, and I think it's actually sadly, or I guess in a good way, made me a better person and a player too. It kind of sometimes prioritizes a little bit stuff for you when you're going through hard times as teams. And but obviously I want to be there for my team, so it kills you when you're away. But the guys have been so supportive and understand the situation that I've been in, and I'm just really glad that everything's worked out and I'm able to get back and really help this team in the push that we're trying to make the playoffs and hopefully go on a long run.
Nick, your coach is always fired up. He always seems to bring a lot of intensity, but last night felt even different than the norm. What was the story with Torts last night? He looked like he was ready to jump out of the building if he was a basketball player, so to speak. He was just wired. Yeah,
you know what? And I think that's a great quality of his. I think he just wanted something good to happen for us, and I think he just felt like in the game it was such a crucial game for us, obviously, and the way things had gone on early, we obviously didn't come out with the best start, but his emotion and he just wants something good to happen in this group. He believes in us so much, and he's fired up, and honestly, a lot of times it does. It helps us, and I think in last night's game we saw that in him, and I think it allowed us to kind of drive forward and knowing how badly he wants this for us. And he's a guy that obviously wears it on his sleeve, and and then also, you don't like to see one of your players get hurt. I think that really bothered all of us, to be honest with you, and just that situation felt unnecessary, and the stakes were high. So I'm glad we came out on the right side of it, and it's always good to show a little emotion.
Nick, from my standpoint, the first period was a little blah from you guys, and then Torts in the intermission really had something to say, and then you guys come out in that second period. To me, you were the best player, some big hits, led by example, but how powerful was that speech by Tortorella in the locker room between the first and second period, and maybe just kind of give us a few segments what was said?
Yeah, I think what he said was just don't let this moment pass you by. Don't have any regrets on what, what's going on right now, and then looking back in a situation where you can put yourself in the driver's seat. And I think guys really felt that and took that to heart. And, we're a young team. I hate using that as an excuse, but I think our line just was able to kind of pull us along because we're veteran guys. We've been in that situation. We know what this time of year is like, and that's important for our group. I think guys understood that after the first period of how you have to play this time of year. Sometimes it's not pretty until you can really open up a team or get a team to open up because you get the lead and they have to take chances. You got to play a simple, hard-working lunch pail style, and our line was able to do that. I think we've been in those situations, like I said, and wanted to drag our team into that. So Torts' speech mixed with how we need to play, I think it was just destined for us to have a better period in the second, and the guys followed suit. Some great plays. Obviously, Dutchie's play to Bread really opened things up for us, and then guys start feeling good about themselves, and we took off after that. So it was really nice to see, and I think we're starting to really understand ourselves as a team too, where we're hitting our stride, getting a little swagger, that's so important this time of year.
You mentioned Matt Duchene, and nobody added more faces than Columbus at the trade deadline. And we know sometimes it takes a little bit of time to get those guys assimilated to a new system and living in a new city and whatnot. As your role as the captain, what is your role trying to get everybody kind of gel to the identity of what Columbus was and is going forward?
Yeah, well, I try to make them understand what we're trying to do here, and allowing them to just let their game kind of fold into ours. And it's unfortunate because I think we kind of hit a little stalemate when they got here. And, I don't think we helped them along as much as we could. So that was disappointing. But I do look at it on the bright side, saying that, we kind of got through it together. I think they feel more a part of things now because we hit a little bit of a lull, and they came out of it with us. And I think Dutchie feels really good about himself and what he can do for this team. I think, Ryan Dzingel feels really good about himself, and Adam McQuaid, and these guys are important parts of what we're trying to do. That's why they were brought in. And sometimes, in situations when they come from a team that's not in it, they're trying to find their way in a team that is and already has established players. And I think it's just allowed us to kind of gel even more because you go through some hardships and then you realize, okay, we've come out of it, we're okay, and no harm, no foul, and now we get rolling. And you can see that in those guys. They've really contributed of late, and they've taken ownership of this team, and it's good to see. And it's sometimes you can force it, sometimes it happens naturally, and this one has just been I guess gone through a trial, so to speak, with just how we played. And it's nice to see everyone hitting their stride and really coming together as a team right now.
All right, Nick, you grabbed the bull by the horns. You're back in control now with this huge win last night. What's the mindset down the stretch here? I mean, what are you guys thinking, focusing on? Is it just to get into the playoffs? Are you looking to do damage? Where are you at?
Oh, I think, always looking to do damage, but the only way you can do that is by getting in. So I think we're just game at a time. Everyone talks about how big the Montreal game was for us, and this next one's even bigger. The next one after that's even bigger. It doesn't matter who you're playing. Until you get that star next to your name and the standings, then you can start focusing on what's next. But for us, it's just, until we get there, we have to continue to go one game at a time and understand that the next one's more important than the last. And, I loved our answer, last game. I think we need to come out with a better start against a team like Nashville, who plays very well at home. So, our focus is just to continue to grow and build upon what we've done the last 3 games here. So, that's why I say I feel like we're hitting our stride. I feel like guys are starting to get more confident in understanding how we need to play as a team. And, it's a building block of last game. We could play in a high pressure game, high emotion game like that. You got to follow it up and make that one stand by coming in here and playing our best game against Nashville. So, that's what we're going to do in order to get ourselves in, and then we'll worry about all that stuff after. But it's just one day at a time, one game at a time, and it's really worked well for us.
Nick, you just got nominated for the Bill Masterson Trophy. What does that mean to you personally?
Yeah, it's a tough one. I think there's a lot of guys that are more deserving just in things that have gone on, and it's humbling for sure. I mean, it's an honor to be considered amongst that. I think I take a lot of pride in being a player in this league and being a player for my team. And but it's never easy to take. I said I'd like to win an Art Ross or something like that instead of one of those, but. It's special. I mean, anytime you can be considered like that and looked upon like in that way, I appreciate it. I love this sport. I'm blessed to be able to play it. With whatever goes on, I always say there's people in worse situations. So I'm blessed to do what I do, to have the team I have and the people around me to support me and my family and friends and teammates. So yeah, it's a humbling thing to be nominated for, but I always feel like there's more people more deserving.
Well, certainly you are deserving of it. We appreciate your time. Good luck the rest of the season, and more importantly from us, it's great to hear that it's all positive news on the home front for you and your kids. So thank you for joining us.
Really appreciate it. Thanks for having me on, guys.